In 2245, the remnants of human civilization teetered on the edge of annihilation. News of the abyss, a sentient void that devoured entire planets, had spread like wildfire, sending shockwaves of fear through every nation. For years, humanity had scoured the cosmos, seeking refuge from the darkness, but it was now clear. The abyss was coming for Earth. In the Grand Hall of the United Earth Council, tensions erupted as leaders from across the globe gathered for a desperate summit. Commander Elena Voss, a renowned strategist with an unyielding spirit, stood at the center of the assembly. Her presence commanded attention, a tall figure with steel-gray eyes and a demeanor that radiated both authority and empathy. The council members argued vehemently about the best course of action. Some proposed a retreat to fortified colonies on Mars, while others advocated for a strike against the abyss, a course that could lead to catastrophic loss. Voss raised her hand, silencing the room. "We can't run or hide. We must confront this threat head-on," she declared, her voice resonating with conviction. "The abyss consumes not just worlds but hope itself. If we surrender to fear, we'll be lost before it even reaches us." The murmurs of dissent filled the air, but Voss pressed on, detailing her plan to form the Abyssal Task Force ***. The urgency of their situation had left them no time for indecision. A fleet of advanced starships, led by the Horizon Breaker ***, would be humanity's spearhead against the darkness. This vessel was equipped with cutting-edge technology that had yet to be fully tested but promised to harness energy from the very fabric of the universe. A hushed silence fell over the room. Voss turned to Dr. Aria Klein, the lead scientist behind the Horizon Breaker ***. "What's the status of our technology?" Dr. Klein stepped forward, her brow furrowed with concern. "We're on the brink of a breakthrough, but we lack time. The abyss is closer than we thought, and if we don't act now, we may lose everything." One delegate, a politician with a skeptical gaze, spoke up. "And what about the crew? You're asking for volunteers to embark on a suicide mission." "I'm not asking for volunteers," Voss countered, her eyes narrowing. "I'm demanding our bravest, our best. Those who understand that our fight is more than survival, it's for the future of humanity." Reluctantly, murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. The urgency of the situation outweighed their fears, and one by one, the leaders began to support Voss's vision. A handful of volunteers emerged, eager to join the fight. Among them was Lieutenant Cassian Holt a maverick pilot known for his reckless stunts and extraordinary skills. His reputation preceded him, and he arrived with a chip on his shoulder, ready to defy convention. "Commander, I'll fly the Horizon Breaker ***, Holt declared, his confidence unwavering. "If we're going to face this void, we need someone who knows how to dance with death." Voss studied him for a moment, then nodded. "You'll need to learn to trust your crew, Holt. This isn't just a mission, it's a family." With a crew slowly coming together, the coalition began to strategize. Elena felt the weight of their impending journey, the gravity of their responsibility pressing down like a looming shadow. The clock was ticking, and soon, they would embark on humanity's final voyage against the abyss. In the face of despair, she held on to a flicker of hope, knowing that they were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for the very essence of what it meant to be human. As the Horizon Breaker ** prepared for launch, the atmosphere aboard the ship crackled with tension. The crew was a mix of seasoned veterans and eager newcomers, all sharing the same weighty understanding of the mission ahead. Elena Voss stood at the command center, surveying the bustling deck. Engineers were making last-minute adjustments and officers were double-checking their gear. Every second felt like a heartbeat, echoing the impending chaos. With a final check of the ship's systems, Voss activated the communication link. "Attention, crew. This is Commander Voss. We are about to embark on a journey into the abyss. I won't lie to you, this mission will test us like never before. But together, we are humanity's last line of defense. Our fight is not just against a force of nature, but for the very soul of our species. Prepare for launch." Cheers erupted in response, but Voss sensed the underlying fear in their voices. As the countdown reached 0, the Horizon Breaker * roared to life, lifting off from the launch pad with an exhilarating force. Elena took a deep breath, feeling the ship vibrate beneath her feet as it ascended into the void of space. Once they cleared Earth's atmosphere, the stars stretched into a vast canvas, shimmering against the dark backdrop of the cosmos. As they entered the region where the abyss was first detected, the serenity of space quickly morphed into a tension-filled landscape. The stars seemed to dim, and the darkness loomed closer, creating an eerie atmosphere that sent shivers down the crew's spines. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. The tactical officer, Lieutenant Maria Chen glanced at her monitors, her face paling. "Commander, we've entered the abyss's influence. Energy readings are off the charts. It's changing reality around us." Elena gripped the edge of her command chair as the ship shuddered. Outside the viewing ports, swirling tendrils of shadow danced and coiled, reaching out like predatory fingers. The crew watched in horror as the darkness flickered, revealing glimpses of lost worlds consumed by the abyss, a once thriving colony now a graveyard of abandoned structures and twisted metal. Holt, at the helm, struggled to maintain control. "I can't stabilize the ship. The gravitational pull is erratic." "Redirect power from the shields to thrusters," Voss shouted, her mind racing. "We need to break free from this influence." The crew scrambled to follow her orders, their training kicking in. Just as they began to regain control, a monstrous creature, an amalgamation of nightmarish shapes, erupted from the void. It roared, a cacophony of despair that echoed through the ship, and its massive form lunged toward them. "Brace for impact," Voss yelled, gripping her chair as the creature struck the ship, causing a violent jolt. Alarms blared, and the lights flickered. The crew struggled to regain their footing, but panic started to set in. In that moment, Holt felt the thrill of adrenaline surge through him. Time to show this thing what we're made of. He executed a daring maneuver, spiraling the Horizon Breaker in a sharp turn, narrowly dodging another blow from the creature. His reckless yet brilliant piloting kept them just out of reach. "Focus fire on that creature," Voss commanded, rallying her crew. They unleashed a barrage of plasma blasts, striking the beast and momentarily stunning it. The creature recoiled, screeching in agony. As they pressed forward, the crew began to find their rhythm, united by the thrill of the fight. Voss felt a surge of pride as she watched her team come together, rallying around their shared purpose. They weren't just individuals fighting for survival, they were a cohesive unit, fueled by hope and determination. With a final, powerful blast, they forced the creature back into the void, its howls fading into the abyss. But as they regrouped, Voss knew that this was only the beginning. The true test awaited them deeper within the darkness, and they would need every ounce of strength and unity to face it. The Horizon Breaker sailed deeper into the abyss, the once familiar stars now swallowed by an oppressive darkness that clung to the ship like a shroud. The atmosphere aboard the vessel shifted. Anxiety hung thick in the air as the crew processed the ferocity of their recent encounter. Commander Elena Voss gathered her team in the main briefing room, the dim lighting reflecting the somber mood. "We survived the creature, but we need to prepare for what lies ahead," she stated, her voice steady but laced with urgency. "This darkness isn't just an enemy, it's a living entity. We must understand its nature if we are to defeat it." Dr. Aria Klein stood beside her, projecting holographic images onto the central screen. "The abyss feeds on fear and despair," she explained, her eyes darting between the crew members. "Our scans have detected fluctuations in the void that indicate it can manipulate our perceptions. If we're not careful, we could become its next victims." Just then, alarms sounded again, piercing through the tension. Lieutenant Maria Chen, monitoring the sensors, reported, "We're picking up echoes, fragments of lost civilizations caught in the abyss's grip. They're pleading for help." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. "We have to investigate. They may hold the key to understanding how to fight back." The crew set the ship on a course toward the source of the echoes, navigating through swirling tendrils of darkness that seemed to close in around them. As they drew closer, the ship began to resonate with the haunting whispers of the lost. Images of once thriving worlds flickered in the shadows, ghostly apparitions of their final moments, their fear palpable and suffocating. As the Horizon Breaker approached the heart of the abyss, a wave of anguish washed over the crew, manifesting as nightmarish visions. Each crew member faced their greatest fears. Holt found himself back in his childhood home, engulfed in flames. Maria relived the moment she lost her sister, and Voss saw the faces of her lost family, swallowed by the darkness. The echoes of despair echoed through their minds, seeking to tear apart the fragile unity they had built. "Hold on," Voss shouted, fighting against the tide of emotions that threatened to consume her. "We are stronger than this. Share your strength with each other. Remember why we're here." With each crew member's resolve, a flicker of light ignited within them, pushing back against the encroaching darkness. They began to share their stories aloud, letting their fears intertwine with their hopes. Voss spoke of her brother, lost to the void, and the promise she had made to fight against the darkness for all of humanity. In that moment, the ship hummed with a resonating energy, a collective force that began to disrupt the abyss's grip. The crew found their voices, shouting out their memories, triumphs, and the loved ones they fought to protect. The echoes responded, materializing into ethereal forms, revealing fragments of knowledge, how the abyss thrived on despair and fear. The only way to combat it is through hope, one echo whispered, its voice both haunting and soothing. Your strength lies in unity in the bonds you forged together. With newfound clarity, Voss devised a plan. We'll channel our collective energy to break through the abyss's hold. We need to harness this power to create a weapon of light. The crew rallied, preparing to harness their memories and emotions as a unifying force. They connected their minds and spirits, forming a psychic link that pulsed with determination. As the darkness pressed in, they stood firm, a beacon of hope amidst the vast expanse of despair. Together, they would forge their path through the heart of darkness, determined to reclaim not just their lives, but the lives of countless souls lost to the abyss. The Horizon Breaker throbbed with a newfound energy as Commander Elena Voss and her crew united their minds and spirits against the encroaching abyss. With each shared memory and story, the ship became a vessel of light, flickering defiantly against the suffocating darkness that surrounded them. As they homed their connection, Voss felt an electric surge of hope ripple through her crew, fortifying their resolve. Prepare to initiate the resonance weapon, Voss commanded, her voice strong and unwavering. We have to amplify our combined energy and strike at the heart of the abyss. Dr. Klein set the frequency to match our emotional pulse. Dr. Klein nodded, her fingers flying over the control panel as she calibrated the ship's systems. We need to synchronize our emotional states. Everyone, focus on your memories of hope, love, and victory. The abyss thrives on despair, and our collective strength will be our greatest weapon. As the crew concentrated, the ship's systems hummed with life, pulsing in rhythm with their hearts. Holt gripped the controls, sweat beading on his forehead. We're going to need every ounce of power we can muster. If we're wrong, we might just become part of the void. Then let's make sure we're not, Voss replied, her eyes ablaze with determination. We are humanity's last line of defense, we can't fail. The abyss reacted violently as they approached its core, dark tendrils swirling and writhing, manifesting into monstrous shapes that lunged at them. But instead of faltering, the crew's fear morphed into fierce defiance. They shouted out their shared memories, creating a barrier of light that pushed back against the advancing darkness. Suddenly, a massive creature emerged from the shadows, a grotesque amalgamation of twisted limbs and haunting faces, each one a tortured soul from the abyss's past victims. It roared, a cacophony of despair that echoed through the ship, shaking them to their core. Hold steady, Voss shouted, channeling her own fear into resolve. We will not succumb. As the creature lunged, the crew activated their resonance weapon, unleashing a brilliant wave of light that rippled through the darkness. The pulse of energy collided with the creature, momentarily stunning it. The echoes of lost souls swirled around them, their voices joining in a harmonious chorus, amplifying the power of the crew's hope. Together, Voss yelled, urging her crew to push forward. Don't just fight for yourselves, fight for everyone who has been lost. The creature recoiled, its twisted form beginning to dissolve under the onslaught of light. The abyss trembled, and for a moment it felt as if the tide was turning. The darkness receded, revealing glimpses of vibrant worlds and flourishing civilizations, images of what could be if they succeeded. But just as victory seemed within reach, the abyss lashed out in desperation, unleashing a torrent of shadowy tendrils that wrapped around the ship, seeking to pull them into its depths. The crew gasped, their connection wavering as fear threatened to fracture their unity. Focus, we need to reinforce our bond, Dr. Klein shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. Share the light of your memories. As each crew member poured their spirit into the resonance, the ship blazed with renewed intensity. Holt, gritting his teeth against the strain, piloted the Horizon Breaker into the heart of the abyss, drawing the darkness toward them as if they were a magnet. Now, Voss commanded, release everything we have. With one final surge, they unleashed a torrent of light, a dazzling wave that shattered the darkness around them. The abyss screamed, a sound that echoed through the cosmos, reverberating with the anguish of every soul it had ever consumed. In that climactic moment, the creature disintegrated into a shower of luminous particles, and the dark tendrils retreated, leaving only the remnants of the void behind. The ship stood amidst the light, the crew victorious but aware that the true battle was far from over. As the echoes of lost souls began to materialize around them, Voss knew that they had not only confronted the abyss but had also illuminated the path for countless others trapped in its grasp. Together, they had forged a weapon stronger than any technology, hope itself. The aftermath of the battle was surreal. The Horizon Breaker drifted amidst a sea of shimmering particles, remnants of the abyss that once threatened to consume them. Commander Elena Voss stood at the command center, her heart racing as she took in the breathtaking sight of vibrant colors swirling through the void. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, the darkness that had enveloped them began to dissipate, revealing a newfound clarity in the cosmos. As the echoes of lost souls hovered around them, they transformed into ethereal figures, their expressions a mixture of gratitude and sorrow. One of them, a luminous being with gentle features, floated closer to Voss. "You have freed us from the abyss. For that, we are eternally grateful. But this victory is not just for us, it is for all who inhabit the light." Voss felt a surge of emotion, the weight of their struggle beginning to lift. "We did it together," she replied, her voice trembling. "But this is just the beginning. We need to ensure that the abyss can never return to threaten any world again." Dr. Aria Klein, looking at the readings on her console, chimed in, "Commander, I'm detecting energy signatures from multiple systems. The abyss has left scars, but it seems like the void is beginning to heal. We might have a chance to reverse its effects on the worlds it consumed." "Then we need to act fast," Voss said, her determination igniting once more. "Prepare to scan for the nearest planets affected by the abyss. We'll deploy teams to help restore them." As the crew worked together to gather data and prepare for their new mission, Lieutenant Cassian Holt approached Voss, his face a mix of awe and excitement. "We actually did it, Commander. I can't believe we took on the abyss and won. It feels unreal." Voss smiled, her heart swelling with pride. "We didn't just fight the abyss, we fought for the very essence of humanity. Together, we created something beautiful, something stronger than fear. We must carry that light with us into every corner of the universe." With their new purpose defined, the crew of the Horizon Breaker set a course for the nearest planet impacted by the abyss. As they traveled, they shared stories, laughter, and dreams of what lay ahead. The bond they had forged through adversity now felt like an unbreakable thread connecting them all. Upon arrival at the first affected planet, they discovered a world covered in darkness, remnants of the abyss still clinging to its surface. But as they descended, they found pockets of life, survivors who had resisted despair, their spirits flickering like stars against the void. Voss and her crew sprang into action, using their experiences and the knowledge gained from the echoes to aid the inhabitants. As they worked tirelessly, the darkness receded, revealing the beauty and vibrancy of the planet beneath. Trees began to bloom, rivers flowed once more, and laughter echoed through the air. The crew felt a sense of fulfillment that transcended words. They were not just repairing a world, they were breathing life back into hope itself. Days turned into weeks as they continued their mission, restoring planets ravaged by the abyss. With each world they saved, the crew of the Horizon Breaker grew stronger, their camaraderie blossoming into something profound. They became not only heroes but ambassadors of hope across the galaxy. As they stood together one evening, gazing at the stars from the observation deck, Elena Voss felt a deep sense of purpose. They had forged a new path, one illuminated by the resilience of the human spirit. "This is our legacy," she said, her voice filled with conviction. "We are not just survivors of the abyss, we are its defeat. And from its darkness, we will cultivate a dawn of a new era for humanity." With their hearts aligned and their spirits unyielding, the crew set forth into the cosmos, determined to carry their light into the vast unknown, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. The darkness had been vanquished, but the journey toward a brighter future had just begun. Together, they would illuminate the universe, ensuring that no abyss would ever consume humanity again.